No, I did not ask you to play. We need to go to Avenue and post. Stop playing in the background, God. Tutorial time. Publish. Gah. I'm gonna have to alleviate the stress on that, but I don't have scissors. I just taped my power bar to the bottom of my desk with double-sided tape. Is there a way to get feedback on a test if you submit on Avenue? Technically, the feedback is tied to your Mac ID, so if you signed in using your Mac ID to Jupyter Hub, you would be able to fetch the feedback files as if you had submitted it on Jupyter Hub. The only issue is you guys are not using Jupyter Hub for a reason, not to mention people have been complaining about it. So, during an office hours, join a TA in the office hours and give them your Mac ID and ask them if they can email you the files. We do have all of the files, so it's really simple. Additionally, if you don't want to join the office hours, I cannot guarantee that a TA will get back to you within a reasonable amount of time, but email a TA, ask them if you can email the feedback files. If they do not know where they're located, let them know that they are located in the directory I'm typing below. I'm going to type it in chat. If you give that directory, are you keeping your office hours before? I'm keeping my office hours after. I don't think that before the tutorial was helpful. No one was showing up to them, and it was a waste of my time. So, if you email any TA and ask them to go on the Jupyter Hub server and find your feedback inside that directory that I posted in chat, they should have no problem finding the feedback and sending it to you. So, for example, feedback, my Mac ID is hutchm6, so it would be /feedback /hutchm6/t1, and inside there's an HTML file, and that contains all of your grades, where you went wrong, stuff like that. If you ask for that file, then there's no reason we shouldn't be able to send to you. It's literally just downloading a file and sending it an email. It takes 20 seconds. We are busy people, though. I have a midterm today, and then I have a midterm Friday, and then I am working all over reading week, so busy life, busy life. We got 6 minutes. Keep the questions coming if you need. Yusef, just shoot me an email now. As soon as my office hour starts, I'll turn on the VPN, download your feedback, and send it to you. Yeah, I need it. Da 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 da. Hey, da 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 da. So I've got 3 CodingBat questions, and I've got 2 questions from the practice midterm we gave you, in which I'm going to be coding in this tutorial. We're going to be talking about dictionaries. I don't know if you guys have seen dictionaries in class yet, but I heavily doubt you have. Dictionaries are easy. I'm going to go over what a dictionary actually is, You guys will need to know dictionaries, though, like the back of your hand, though, when it comes to everything moving forward. Assignments will start to use dictionaries like crazy. Tests will use dictionaries quite a bit. And for good reason. Dictionaries are really, really important concepts. They're one of the many foundations of object-oriented programming as well. I did a video last semester on how to picture object-oriented as dictionaries using the JSON format. I will release that video again when the time comes for it. It will be a study video for test 3, because test 3 will be immediately after you guys learn basic object-oriented. Test 2 will focus primarily on a concept called recursion. We're probably looking at that next week, but if I have time I might cover it quickly, because the greatest common divisor function, I'm going to cover it 2 ways using loops, and then maybe 1 way using recursion. Who knows? Yeah. I've still got 4 minutes. I haven't even read these questions. I never did these questions. I never showed up to my tutorials last year, so I don't know. I've never coded a Roman numeral question, but it doesn't seem hard, and greatest common denominator was on our midterm last semester, so I know how to code this like the back of my hand. But yeah, our order goes logic 2, make chocolate, string 2, XYZ there, and sum 13, list 2. It's going to be fun. It's not going to be hard. It shouldn't be hard. It really, really shouldn't be hard, like, at all. This question looks fun. It looks like you have goal kilos. You continuously divide by... What shouldn't be hard? Any of the content we're covering today should not intimidate you. Like, any of the CodingBat content should not intimidate you. Roman numerals sucks. Greatest common denominator, easy as pie. But yeah, Roman numerals is absolute horrible. I am disgusting. I am disgusted. Not I am disgusting. I'm disgusted with Roman numerals. It's such an annoying concept because there is no clean mapping. But yeah. We want to make a package of gold kilos. I'm going to start in 1 minute. 1 minute, Mr. Shady, 1 minute. Hey, boy. Oh, sorry, I've got Christmas on my mind, and I don't know why. My roommate was in the stream chat earlier, so he knows that I'm live streaming. That being said, he also is a complete and total dick, so he might just pop in and be like, hey, screw you, and smack me. I don't know. No one can control him. He just sucks. Morning! It is indeed morning. It is a meh morning, as I like to call it. It is a morning in which I have nothing to look forward to because I have midterm and I have to answer a crap ton of emails about people who weren't happy with their mark. One thing I do want to say about test marks before we start with the tutorial: test marks are completely and totally objective. We will never subjectively mark anything on code. This can work in your favor if you code really messy code that works, or it can work against you if you code really easy and simplistic code, but it doesn't return the correct answer. For example, a lot of people print And fun fact, if you use print on your assignment, you can basically guarantee a 0 for that question because we cannot compare prints. We can only compare return values. So objectively speaking, if you use print and you didn't use return, then you have failed. Can't fetch feedback. Is there any way to get feedback? Join in office hours, ask a TA for your feedback during office hours, or email a TA. If you submitted via Avenue, you have no chance of feedback except from a TA. You guys can't access JHub, you can't access your feedback files. It's the sad, sad fact of life. Additionally, I don't know why some students can't access their feedback, because if you go on JHub right now, if you submitted through JHub and you request your feedback, you should be fine. Note, JHub and Jupyter are not the same thing. If you guys used a local Jupyter notebook and submitted through Avenue, or if you used a local Jupyter notebook, took that file and uploaded it to JHub, you void the ability to fetch feedback. I have proved this conclusively. That being said, if you coded it on JHub, there should be no reason. Like, it should be fine. That being said, I can't worry about this. Come to me in an office hour. I've got to get started with the tutorial. So, if the fetch feedback thing on JHub works, how is it supposed to look? You click fetch feedback, and then beside, like if you look below fetch feedback, you're going to see all of your submissions. Beside your most recent submission, it will then have a click saying review feedback. If you click on that, it will take you to your assignment folder, and there is now a folder called feedback inside of it, in which has an HTML file. This HTML file is your feedback. It will show you all the hidden test cases. It shows you exactly where you lost marks. It's great. Make chocolate! Let's make you some chalky. Make chocolate is a part of the Logic 2 coding practice questions. So, what is make chocolate? You were given a goal. In goal, yeah, I never got that. I'm sorry, I can't help you guys. I don't know what it is, but I can do it. I have a student account. I submit all of the assignments just like you guys do, and I can fetch it. So I don't know why it's not working for you guys. You have a goal of chocolate. This goal could say be 13. And then you have small bars and large bars. So if my large bar is 5 and I have 13, I can make 2 large bars because 5, 10. And then I have 3 small bars, if they're worth 1, left over. So, we know that a small bar is... I want to find out what the heck these inputs are, though. So is it saying that small bar is variable? So for 7, if we had... So what exactly are these inputs? So let's return -1. I want to see what the test cases are so I can try and code to it. How interesting. So small is 1 kilogram each, and big are 5 kilograms each. Return the number of small bars to use, assuming we always use big bars before small bars. Oh, ha ha! I see. So we're given 4 small bars and 1 big bar, and we have to determine, after melting down the big bars, how many small t. That is horribly worded. That is horribly worded. Okay. So if I have 13 kilograms, I have 2 big bars and 18 small bars. Sure, I will use the 2 big bars, and then I would use the remaining small bars. Ew. Okay. So, first case scenario. We know that kilogram big equals 5 kilograms times big. And let's call this kilogram total, actually. So I know kilogram big is 5 times big plus small. So if that's how many total kilograms of chocolate I have, with big and small bars combined, if those kilograms are less than the goal, I know immediately that it can't be done. So if my goal is bigger than kilogram total, I can immediately return -1. I'm getting the simplest case done as soon as possible. So, from here on out, I now have the ability to make the assumption that it's all valid. So, let's do that. What do I have to do first? Well, I have to, starting at 0 big bars used, I have to keep adding 5 for the amount of big bars I have, but I have to break that loop before the goals. So I'm going to use a 4 bar in range big. What this does is it generates a series of numbers, and I'm going to have a variable simply called kilogram equals 0. It's going to act as a sum. And what I'm going to do is, because I don't really care about bar itself, I care about the number of bars we're adding. So if kilogram plus 5 is greater than goal, I'm going to break the loop, because now we've put in as many big bars as possible. And I'm going to do kilogram plus equals 5 with each loop. This will keep melting down my big chocolate bars I have for as many that I do have until I might go over. Finally, I'm going to return my value, because now I have... Oh, but that actually does return... No, but I can make the assumption. So all I have to do is return goal minus small, or goal right minus kilogram. Yeah, because I have confirmed up here that I do have the correct number of kilograms of chocolate, and I have melted down every possible big chocolate bar and a small chocolate bar. Can we talk about dictionaries later? Yes, I'm going to get to those, don't worry. And because a small chocolate bar is worth 1 kilogram, and we know that, again, we can make the total kilograms, if I did goal minus kilogram, that leaves 3 small chocolate bars. For example, if this was 13, and I melted down 10 kilograms of chocolate already, I need 3 small chocolate bars. If I didn't have 3 small chocolate bars, this if statement at the top wouldn't have returned true. So if I do this, it timed out. Why did it time out? Anyone want to hazard a guess at why it's timed out? What if I try this? Yeah, why is that timing out? Mine didn't time out, but most of the test cases return false. Now I gotta figure out what is wrong with my logic. This is the fun part of coding. Is it something to do with the... Why don't you put kilogram plus equals 5 before the break? Well, I don't put it before the break because I need to see if I were to do kilogram plus 5 and I go over my goal, then that means I've overdone the chocolate. I don't want to melt down the remaining chocolate anymore. But the issue is, why is this not working? Because I don't see why this is timing out. It timed out now. Yeah, why is it timing out? So kilogram total is 5 times big plus small. I could put brackets around this, but that shouldn't be the issue. If goal is greater than kilogram total, then return -1 because there's no possible combination. Yeah, I was hoping there'd be some sort of underlining I wasn't seeing. Then I have a variable called kilogram set to be equal to 0. And then for every big bar, if kilogram is greater than 5, if kilogram plus 5 is greater than goal, break the loop, else keep adding 5, then return. Interesting. Alright, I've got to rethink it. So, let's try this. I want to just see if that loop was what was causing the issue. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Yusuf, but it seems to not like that loop. Well, that's the thing. I'm not looking at kilogram total. I have a new kilogram here. While kilos is strictly less than goal. Let's try doing a while loop. While kilos is less than goal, what we're going to do is we're going to just do goal minus equals 5, and so while and big is less than 0, or big is greater than 0, because if I have 0 big bars left, I have to break this loop. But that doesn't quite do what I want either, because kilograms less than goal, we can keep losing big every time, right? So if I did big minus equals 1, so this will eventually count down, and this will break it if we have too many big bars. But if we do subtract a too many big bars, we will be 5 under. So if goal is less than 0, I need to add 5 back. If I were to do it this way, purely because I don't want to that would be a negative number then, Yusuf. It would either be 0 or negative. So goal is my upper bound, right? So if I delete all of this, right now we know that goal is less than the total pounds of chocolate, meaning that small and big combined together could make 5 million pounds of chocolate. So if I did goal minus kilograms total, I'd be at negative 4,800,000 blah 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 chocolate. Kilos would be 0 for I in range 1 to big plus 1. What we can do is kilos plus 5 is greater than goal to break, else. I don't see why this wouldn't work, especially because if I take it, I don't think you need a loop, just use if-else statements. The thing is, how do you know how many things to melt down, right? Because you've got to think of it from, if big times 5 is greater than goal, well, how big, like, how greater is it, you know? Why is it that 415 returns 0? So one big chocolate bar is worth 5 pounds, and your goal is 5, meaning you return 0 pounds. You got there exactly. I genuinely don't know why this doesn't work. Oh, it... Oh, what? Why does it time out if I let this go to completion? Oh. Ha ha. Ha. Whew. There's a test case with one... Okay, I see why it times out now. Sugar, honey, iced tea. Alright, I think we are going to have to get creative. My code works now, it didn't use a loop. Is it literally just like a simple... So if I had... while big kilos is greater than goal, what I'm going to keep doing is I'm going to I'm going to try doing it in the opposite direction. I'm going to start at the big kilos and subtract big chocolate bars. It's all of them but one. Really. So 2 times 5 would be 10, so I subtract... Oh! Ha ha! Yeah, and then I just need a if goal minus big kilos is greater than 0, I return this, else return -1, because I just didn't have enough small bars. What? Greater than or equal to 0. Oh. It's not 0, it's small. I'm sorry, I'm tired, guys. There we go. That was a long one. Yeah, my initial approach was to work my way up to it, but then they decided to have one test case that if you worked your way up, you'd spend forever doing it, because the intent was you work your way down. I don't like this question. I spent too long on that. So yeah, I literally just started at big and I subtracted as many as I possibly could. That's fun. That's cute. That was horrible. I'm never looking at this one again. Alright, I'm moving on. That drove me to absolute complete tired. Return true if the given string contains an appearance of xyz, where xyz is not directly followed by a period. So xyz counts, however x dot xyz doesn't count. Okay, so we know the length of xyz is 3. So let's do the small case first. If len string is less than 3, we can immediately return false. There's no chance of this ever happening. Additionally, you could also have a if len string equals 3 and string does not equal xyz, return false. Because those two are your base cases, right? You either have too small of a string, so there can never be an xyz, or you have a string of 3, and it is xyz. In fact, I can change that to return if my string is equivalent to xyz. That's another way of doing it. Okay, so now the fun part. For index, in fact, I'm gonna do for start index, and I'm going to take a example from the boring string function that we gave you in assignment 2. I want to say assignment 2. Boring string has a start of 0, of course, and what it would do is it would go to the length of the string minus 3, because we're taking strings of 3. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually take strips of 4. And what I'm going to do is if string at index si is not equal to the period character, and, yeah, because of the period, I've got to account for the period. So I'm starting at a starting index. I'm going to check if that starting index isn't a period, and I'm going to check the following 3 characters. Now, you guys will notice that this test case is a problem. However, I'm going to get to that in a moment. So if string at not index period, and what I would check is string of my starting index, and I just realized that wasn't capitalized, starting index plus 1 to starting index plus 4. That's why I did the minus 4. I'm checking the future 3 characters. I'm going to check if that is equal to xyz, return true. However, there's one problem. This guy returns true. That's not a period, and the following characters aren't xyz, because I have to actually check separately if the first 3 characters are xyz. So if string 0 to 3 equals xyz, return true. I have that guy, and then if the loop continues and finds nothing, oh well, false. So which one's failed? Why would this one fail? So if my starting index were 0, not a period. So what's the length of this string? 6. What's 6 minus 4? 2, which means that it would only go to 1, so it never reaches the C. So I actually do need an additional check for the last 3 characters, I think. And then I don't want to get creative with that. Alright, even that doesn't quite work. Alright, so I need to actually change the loop then. So this can't go to +4. You got this, yeah. So I need to be able to get to the last iteration of the loop. You didn't talk about the case directly followed a period, and what's after that? I did talk about the case where XYZ is directly preceded by... Actually, yeah, there is a cleaner way to do this. That is a good point. So I'm going to start at the third index, and I'm going to go to string length -3, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to simply do if... I didn't see this until I read that comment, Haley. Si +3 and then all I have to do is I'm pretty sure that would just do it, wouldn't it? Because that would be string length -2, and then it automatically minuses 1, so yeah. Why does this return false? If... Oh, whoops. I removed the if statement that fixed the problem earlier. Why did I do that? Who let me do that? I let me do that. If string of the first 3 characters return true. That's a dumb mistake. Alright, and now why is this one returning false? 12xyz. So if it starts at 3, so 0, 1, 2, 3. Because I forgot how indexes work. You thought outside the if. No, I just forgot how indexes work. Gotta remember, the length of a string and isn't actually like how strings are indexed, because everything is 0 indexed. If you can't tell, I'm extremely tired, guys. Wow. We require Python developers, please. I'm not even going to pretend to understand what that means, JPK. Wow, okay. I've really got to not screw this one up. I'm just going to remove that message. I don't like it. I've got to not screw this one up because I got to talk about dictionaries. I want to talk about dictionaries. I really want to speak dick. Sorry, I'm a child. Return the sum of numbers of the array, returning 0 for an empty array. The number 13 is unlucky, so don't count any numbers that come... So as soon as I hit 13, break the sum. So if... Is this just seriously a... If nums equals empty array, return 0, sum equals 0 for I in nums, if I equals 13, break, else I'm going to do s plus equals I, return s. What does this one break? Oh, okay, it's not break, it's... Okay, so this is a while loop one then. It's not break, it's just skip the number that immediately follows 13. So s, I have I, while I is less than len nums, I misunderstood this question. If nums at I is equivalent to 13, I'm going to do I plus equals 2. So plus equals 1 will go to the next element, so I'm just going to skip forward another element, and then I'm going to immediately call the continue keyword, else I'm going to do plus equals nums at I. They could have reworded that. Why? How many of you were screaming at me? Yeah, that one was easy. That one was a lot easier. Like, wow, that's sad. Okay, yeah, this should have been worded a bit. So, yeah, okay, it comes immediately after 13 does not count. I should have read that a bit better, but oh well. Yeah, that's it. That's all that one was. Wow, why couldn't I have been given that one for the other two? Alright, I need to talk about Roman numerals, because I need to talk about dictionaries. I am far behind time. Oh well. This has been a bad tutorial. But you guys get to see me actually, like, struggling, which is what it's what we expect of you guys. So, into Roman, we're going to make a dictionary, and it's going to be a integer and the Roman numeral equivalent. So for example, the Roman numeral of 1000 is M, of 900 is CM, of, what's another one, 500 is, I'm trying to show off how much of a nerd I am by not having a list of all the Roman numerals pulled up. 400 is my favorite, XD, lol. 100 is the next special one because that is C. I forgot the comma. 90 is the next special one for XC. 50 is L. I remember that one. That's the definer. 40 is XL. 10 is X. This is where it gets easier for everyone, so I've got to show off VI. VI follows the naming conventions, so 5, however, is V, because VI is 6, but 4 doesn't follow the naming conventions. It's IV, so it's a special case. And then 1. 1 is I. 400 is CD. Is 400 CD? Yeah, no. 400 is CD, isn't it? Lol. Oh well. Now, notice how I have put this in descending order, not ascending order. This is going to be very important because when it comes to Roman numerals, you forgot about IX. What is IX? Is that 9? Is 9 a special character as well of IX? I think that is, yeah. So I did in descending order because I would be dividing a number by 1000 and taking M for every time that happens. So, for key into Roman, what this is going to do is it's going to do a for loop through all of these keys, and then what I could also do is if I wanted the value for key value of interroman dot items. I believe that that's how it does if you want key to be this and value to be this. You could also have literally just done int to Roman key equals value if you really wanted. I'm lazy. I think that it's ugly personally. So what do I need? I have an input number of n, and I'm going to need a answer string. Put a L instead of a colon next to... Did I? Ah, how funny. Yeah, I need an answer string. I need something for everything to go. And what I'm going to do is if n, because I'm going to directly mutate n, if n is not equal to 0, then I have a series of instructions that need to be performed. I'm going to create a quotient item in which is going to remember, and by the way, I'm doing this blind. I genuinely don't have a solution or anything pulled up, so you guys will have to call me out on these stupid things that I'm doing. I'm going to save a quotient. What's going to happen is I'm going to take n and I'm going to divide it by the key. And if that is a number, that means that clearly there is some sort of clean representation for... So if I had 2,000, that's 2 m's, right? So what I can do then is, if quotient, of course, is not equal to 0, because there is the potential that it doesn't divide, right? I'm going to do 4, and there's no variable that matters. I just need a range of quotient. I'm going to append that letter to my answer string that many times. Additionally, if you didn't like this, you could, instead of doing a for loop, times quotient. Then, what I'm going to do is, after I've done the division, I no longer care about the 2,000 that I removed. So if I entered the number 999, let's start with there. 999 can be divided by 900, but there's still 99 left. So I take the CM that is 900, I'd append it to the string, but I've got to still keep moving on for the 99. So I'm going to take my n, and I'm going to use modular arithmetic to find the remainder of what it is after x. And then I'm pretty sure it's a simple matter of return the answer. Let's run the code. X is not defined. What did I call it? It's not x, it's key. I typically do xy, not key value, but I do key value when teaching people because it's explicit. So let's take a look at my test cases. 1 is I, 5 is that, 999, CM, which is 900. Ooh, apologies. So 999, 900, that's your CM. X, C, I'm pretty sure that's XC for 90. Yep, you guys called me out on that. I didn't see it. XC for 90. And then IX, again, another one you guys called me out on, for 9. Boom. This one's not hard, but it requires an understanding of how Roman numerals work, right? Because you've got to look at the number 999, not as 999, but you need to look at it as 900 plus 90 plus 9. And then you convert each of these into their natural standing. It's a fun question. If you wanted to do it in reverse, you literally would just take every key and value of this and basically reverse it and then multiply. Multiply and add. It's a basic sum question. So, out of curiosity, what is 2,000 in Roman numerals? I've never actually checked, you know? It should just be mm, right? Boop. Yeah, mm. Why is it important to put values in a specific order in the dictionary? I'm putting them in this specific order because I have the key and I have the value, and I'm making sure that the key is the biggest item first, because I need to divide by 1,000 before I divide by 90, or before I divide by 900. If I had the answer of 1,800, if I had the answer of 1,800 and I had the following order, 1000 should return M, and then I build 800 out of DCCC. However, what would happen is it would see 900 as the first item in the dictionary, and it would go, well, 1800 cleanly divides by 900, so the answer is CM. So 1800, if I run it with the code version now, I get CM. But that's not actually the correct value. It's 1500 plus 3 times 100, which is MDCCC. If I run it with this, after I save the file, I get MDCCC. Notice how switching the two keys changes very, very severely the output you get. It's got an order. Dictionaries are an ordered set of values. So what if you don't like dictionaries, though? This question can't really be done with a dictionary, or without a dictionary, unless you were to do an array of nested tuples. What do I mean by that? Well, if I did this, I put all of these like that. Whoops. Whoops, whoops, whoops. Whoops. Let's try this again. There we go. If I did that, and I'm going to just quickly find, because I'm a lazy person, I'm going to find all of those, and I'm going to replace it with all of these. And I'm going to do it purely in the selection here. Replace those. And then I have to replace these with commas. And notice, yes, I know this is tedious, but it's to demonstrate a point, because this is what you guys need to picture dictionaries as. This is a dictionary. Instead of .2 items, it would literally be 4 key value in int to Roman. And this will work the exact same way. Python will take every item, split it into a key and a value, and assign it exactly the same. If I run this code, I get no differences. Because this is all a dictionary is. It's a tuple of 2 items, the first item being the identifier that Python searches for, and the second item being the value of that item. If you guys ever don't like dictionaries, just do this. In fact, the loop is cleaner purely because you don't have the .items line. And yeah, like, it's easy to follow. 1,900, 400. Every tuple has a corresponding item in the following line. But yeah, I think you can all agree it's just easier to do a dictionary. What if you don't have access to .items? We sometimes give you questions where you just don't have dictionary.items. But notice, I use dictionary.items. What if you could only do key and into Roman? Well, into Roman's dictionary. If you need the value of the key here, you just do that, like I said earlier. This will also accomplish the exact same thing, and there's no .2 items. If I scroll down, see how it printed again, completely works. Let's talk GCD. I've got to finish this because I've got my office hours coming up, and I've got to study for a midterm today. So, GCD. What is a GCD? It's the greatest common denominator. For example, if I have x equals 48 and y equals 60, What is the greatest common divisor between these two numbers? Now, I know the answer. It's 12. So I need to write a code in which we'll reduce these guys down and return 12. We can talk brute force, or we can talk actually an algorithm, because there's something called the Euclidean method that does this. However, let's look brute force first. So, I'm going to create a small variable. I'm going to set it to x. However, if x is bigger than y, I'm going to change small to just be equivalent to y. So small is the smaller of the two variables. For example, if I have 60 and I have mathematical reasoning peeps, hell yeah. If I have 60 and I have 48, I know that the smallest divisor can't be bigger than 48. So I care about the smallest number. Then I'm going to do something which you guys are going to hate. For I in range, starting at the smallest number, and then we're going to work my way down to 0. So this is called a reverse range. And if x mod I equals 0 and y mod I equals 0, I'm going to return I. And then finally, at the very end, I'm just going to return -1. If I couldn't find anything, I know for a fact though this will always find something because 1 is included in this list, so I'll just return 1 if it couldn't find anything. However, it will never reach this return statement. So if I run print gcd xy, what should I get? I should get 12. I got 12. I've done enough Euclidean algorithm to make my eyes fall out. Yeah, trust me. I know. But yeah, Euclidean algorithm though, it's a lot cleaner. It's a lot cleaner. What is the Euclidean algorithm? Well, while y is not 0, what we're going to do is we have an x and a y, and we're going to change them both. So x becomes y, and y becomes x mod y. Now, this isn't the new x. This is the old x. So if x is 48, what is 48 mod... Oh, I just realized this should be n and m. How many of you were screaming at me? I didn't use x and y, I used n and m. So 48 mod 60. Well, if you did 48 divided by 60, you get 0 with the remainder of 48. Or, yeah. Because there's no amount of times that 60 can go into that. So I'm going to have then 60. The while statement has y as l. Oh, you guys are hurting me. So as long as my y item isn't 0, I'm going to keep taking the remainder of dividing them and swapping it. So then n here is now 60, and this is 48. So what's 60 mod 48? Well, now it's 12. So m becomes 48, and this becomes 12. And now I get 12 and I get 48 and 12 becomes 48. However, this is 0. So m is now 0. I found the greatest common divisor. So all I have to do is return n, because n has become my GCD. This is a complicated algorithm. It is hard to properly explain. However, you guys will have to get kind of used to it because last semester, this was a test question. Greatest common divisor was a test question, but it was using recursion. So you had to code this, however, no loops. No loops whatsoever. So, you guys haven't learned recursion yet, but we'll get into it. And trust me, I've got some fun things planned for recursion because I get to talk about factorial n, and I might even get my drawing tablet out. Woot woot. Either way, I have office hours I need to hold, so sadly I have to end this here. If you guys have questions, I know I was really out of it. It's been a long night. I've been studying for a midterm today. So if you guys do have questions, I'm always in the office hours. I might record another version of this tutorial and just come into it actually conscious. But yeah, I'm gonna have to call it here. It's been a long night. See you guys.